part 3, and today we are going to get the story of Mrs. Burling. So how is Mrs. Burling involved in the death of Eva Smith? So this is straight after Gerald's scene that we had before. So they watch him go in silence. So him, of course, is Gerald. So Gerald walks out. He's actually quite upset by what's happened to Eva. So he's actually quite upset by what's happened. So he goes out. He goes off for a walk. Sheila, nice and loud, please.
You never showed him that paragraph.
Paragraph? Photograph, yeah. Yeah, go on.
No, it wasn't necessary. And I thought it was better not to.
Do you have a photograph of this girl?
Yes. I think you'd have to look at it.
Yeah, so that's his indication that it's her turn coming up here, right? But again, this idea of, so it's always suggested, right? So is it the same woman? Right? He never shows the photograph. No one's ever seen the photograph at the same time. So this is his way of controlling the investigation and the narrative. I don't see any particular reason why I should. You've got to interrupt me. I don't see any particular reason why I should.
Probably not. But you'd have to look at it.
Very well. She crosses to him. He produces the photograph and she looks hard at it.
Recognise?
A bit louder, come a bit louder, please.
Recognise her?
No, why should I?
Of course, she might have changed lately, but I can't believe she could have changed so much.
So again, we have a sense here of him saying that, okay, you do know her, right? And Mrs. Burling is very like, no, I don't recognise her, right? I don't recognise her, I don't see her. Now, option 1 is that she does and she's lying. Option 2 is that she, I'll add these down. So number 1 is that she is lying. And number 2 is that she doesn't remember. And of course the idea of that is that Eva is so irrelevant to her that she doesn't even remember her face. I don't understand you, Inspector.
You mean you don't...
Come on, Manny, you got it. You talk to me. I'm over here.
You mean you don't choose to?
Yeah. I meant what I said.
You're not telling me the truth.
I beg your pardon. I need a Burling. Yes, go on, Larissa.
Look here, I'm not going to have this discussion. You will apologise at once.
Yeah. So it's getting quite confrontational at this point. And he's stopped really, like as the play goes on, he becomes a lot more direct, a lot more aggressive. So things like this, you're not telling me the truth, you mean you don't choose to, right? This way of investigating is quite confrontational, right? It's aggressive, and he gets more and more and more as the play goes on.
Apologise for what? Doing my duty?
Yeah.
For being so offensive about it. I'm a public man.
Public men, Mr. Burling, have their responsibilities as well as their privileges.
Good. Right, this is probably our first majorly good quote of the day. Public men, Mr. Burling, public men have their responsibilities as well as their privileges. Because I'm a public man. Now, a public man means that he is in some form of government, so government of being maybe of having power, right? So we know that he is a judge, we know that he is on the council. He says, I have the power. He says, yes, but public men have their responsibilities. Now, of course, this is the situation in 1912 that we talked about a minute ago, where there is very low government support for people. So he does not see his responsibility as a public man, to help people, is for him to take for himself, right?
So, I wouldn't say public man.
That says government. Sorry, I used the short version of government there. So he's in the government, right? Public is that he works for the people. So things like an MP would be that. Now the idea is that you're supposed to be a servant to the public. You work for the people. But in 1912, being a public man, right? Being a public man means that you just get lots of power. Burling, you didn't like that very much. We were arguing now with Mr. the Inspector.
Possibly, but you weren't asked to come here to talk to me about my responsibilities.
Let's hope not, though I'm beginning to wonder.
Does that mean anything, Sheila?
It means that we've no excuse for putting on airs, and that if we've any sense we won't try. Now you're pretending you don't recognise her from that photograph. I admit, I don't know why you should, but I know jolly well you did in fact recognise her from the way you looked, and if you're not telling the truth, why should the imposter apologise? Inspector apologise?
Yeah.
And can't you see, both of you, you're making it worse?
Yeah, good. So her daughter says, you're lying. I knew when you looked at that photograph, you knew who she was, right? And you're putting on airs, which is a metaphor for the idea of sort of like being superior, right? He has every right to question you because you know you're involved and you're lying, right? You're making it worse. Sheila turns away. We hear the front door slam again. Gerald must have come back.
Unless your son has just gone out.
Yeah, so Eric has walked out. Okay, his involvement is the greatest, and he comes in next.
I'll see.
He goes out quickly. The inspector turns to Miss Burling.
Miss Burling, you're a member, a prominent member of the Bromley Women's Charity Organisation, aren't you?
Yeah, so the Bromley Women's Charity Organisation. Okay, so she is a prominent member. So she is involved in a charity, right? The Bromley Women's Charity Organisation, a charity set up to help women. What kind of women need help? Poor women, right? So there's some great irony here, right? It's to help poor women. If you want to know what these initials are, this is the initialization of that. Mrs. Burling does not reply. She does not reply because she knows what's going to happen, right? But you're part of a charity that helps women, aren't you? Sheila?
Go on, Mother, you might as well admit it. Yes, she is. Why?
It's an organisation to which women in distress can appeal for help in various forms. Isn't that so?
Yes. So dignity. She's trying to be like, yes, like put on a sort of I'm a dignified, good person. Yes, we've done a great deal of useful work in helping deserving cases. Right, now this is very interesting, right? A great deal of work in helping deserving cases. This is probably the key word of this whole section, right? Deserving. What does that mean? Deserving cases. Go on.
Like a woman actually needs help and she's not very well sure.
Yes. There's a sense here of what we'd say, that there is a judgment involved. Now most charities do not judge the people who need the charity. So they go, oh, we need help please, I don't have any money, I don't have anywhere to live. Oh really, and why is that then? Did you do something to not give yourself a place to live? So she judges these women and she decides who gets the help and who doesn't get the help.
So that's foreshadowing.
Very much foreshadowing, because we know who she's not going to help, right? So she is essentially playing God. Who gets help? Who doesn't get help? Who lives? Who dies? Right? Deserving cases. So we help the women who really deserve it. Most charities don't work on that premise. They work on helping the people who most need it. So modern day charities would focus on need over deserving. Right? Who needs it the most, not who deserves it the most. Okay? Inspector.
There was a meeting of the interviewing committee 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, again, interviewing committee. Right? Again, judgment. Right? We can guess what's going to happen, can't we? There was a meeting 2 weeks ago where you interviewed some women. I dare say there was.
You know very well that was. Mrs. Berlin.
Yeah.
You were in the chair.
Yeah, so you were actually the lead of the meeting, where you're chairing the meeting. So again, she's trying here. She's trying to avoid responsibility, just like her husband. So he's getting aggressive because he's running out of time. He's like, you know, you were there. You were the chairwoman, right? You were literally in charge. And if I was, what business is it of yours?
Do you want me to tell you in plain words?
Yeah. So plain words, being direct. So it's getting pretty tense, I would argue, at this point, right? She doesn't want to say. Berling re-enters, looking rather agitated, upset.
That must have been Eric.
Yeah. So Eric has walked out. We don't know why, but it's something that maybe is interesting to us. Okay. Have you been up to his room?
Yes, and I called out in both languages. It must have been Eric. We heard to go out then.
Good. Freddie. Come on, you're not... Yeah. Harry's gone out. Silly boy. Weird. Silly boy. Where can he have gone to?
I can't imagine, but he was one of his he was in one of his excitable career moves, and even though we don't need him.
We do need him here, and if he's not back soon, I shall have to go and find him.
Ooh, I shall have to go and find him. Right? So we know his involvement is the most serious because, again, structurally, he's been left to last of the family, and therefore there's a sense of building up the severity of the incidents.
Is that whole order? They do it in respect to what's not.
Yes. So there's a suggestion he's going to have to maybe arrest him, right? I have to go find him, right? It's not optional, his involvement. But yeah, absolutely. So part of this whole thing is a structure, which is that we have the chain of events, but also the severity increases. Okay, if you have a more serious moment earlier, it makes the later moments seem less important. So the severity of the inspector builds up. So I'll add it up here, just for the note. So you have increasing severity of actions plus the inspector behaviour. So the inspector's behaviour gets more and more severe with stuff like this and this here as the play goes on. It's building up tension. Mr. and Mrs. Berling exchanged bewildered and rather frightened glances. Bewildered, they're confused and they're scared. Sheila.
He's probably just gone to cool off. He'll be back soon.
I hope so.
And why should you hope so?
I'll explain why when you answer my question, Miss Berlin.
Berling?
Is there any reason why my wife should answer questions from you, Inspector?
Yeah, again, like a bit weird, right? My wife, like ownership, again. Inspector?
Yes, a very good reason. You remember that Mr. Croft told us, quite truthfully, I believe, that he hadn't spoken to or seen Ava Smith since last September. But Miss Berlin spoke to her and saw her only 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So we're getting much closer now to the point of her death. So Mrs. Berling's involvement is stronger because she is nearer that point. 2 weeks ago. Sheila, you're shocked.
Mother, is this true?
Pause. Yes, quite true. So she admits it, right? And you're thinking to yourself, why didn't you just say it from the start, right? She admits it. Yes, fine! It's true.
She appealed to your organisation for help,
Yes.
not as Ava Smith.
No, nor is Daisy Renton.
First she called herself Miss Berlin.
Yeah. So this is her third name. So when she goes to the when she goes to the charity, she calls herself Miss Burling. Now you can imagine what the actual Mrs. Burling is going to think about her using her name. Astounded, Mr. Burling. You're astounded.
Mrs. Berlin.
Yes, I think it was simply a piece of gross impertinence, so rudeness. Quite deliberate. And naturally, that was one of the things that prejudiced me against her case. Right? That was one of the things that prejudiced me against her case. Now we use the word prejudice as a negative word these days. So prejudice means to prejudge, right? Prejudge. So she had already decided, before she heard the case of Eva Smith, that she was not going to help her. Because she didn't like the fact that she used her name. Said it was a deliberate rudeness. Now for those of you who are good at the foreshadowing, you might be able to work out why she chooses that name. Don't tell me now, okay? But you can work out there is a reason, right? There is a very clear reason why she chooses that particular name to present herself as. Mr. Burling.
And I should think so.
Damned impudence, right? We were right to not give her help because she was rude to you.
You admit being prejudiced against her case?
Yes.
Mother, she just died a horrible death. Don't forget.
I'm very sorry. I think she only had herself to blame. Okay, these are pretty good quotes, right? In terms of Mrs. Burning's attitude towards the poor. She only had herself to blame. Now, of course, this idea is a very Victorian idea of looking after yourself, right? So look after self, right? Let's blame her, not blame the system. She only had herself to blame. Sveta.
Was it owing to your influence as the most prominent member of the committee that help was refused? That help was refused the girl?
Possibly.
Was it, or was it not your influence?
Yeah, so was it down to you alone? Was it your power that stopped her getting help? Yes, it was. I didn't like her manner. She had impersonally made use of our name, okay? Though she pretended afterwards, it just happened to be the first she thought of. She had to admit, after I began questioning her, that she had no claim to the name, that she wasn't married, and that the story she told at first about her husband who deserted her was quite false. It didn't take me long to get to the truth, or some of the truth, out of her. It's ironic here, isn't it? Because she is now sort of playing the inspector. She doesn't like herself being questioned, but she's very happy to question other people. Yeah. Off you go. Good luck. Right. So here we have the sense that she interrogates her, and she says the story about this was a lie, right? She wasn't married, so therefore I didn't help her. So it interrogates her. There you go. And she says that she is a liar, and therefore, as a liar, she doesn't deserve any help. Spectre.
Why did she want help?
You know very well why she wanted help.
No, I don't. I know why she needed help, but I wasn't there. I don't know what she asked in your committee.
Yeah, good. There's a difference here, right, between needed help. He's like, I know why she needed help, but I don't know what she said to you, right? I don't think we need to discuss it. She doesn't want to talk about it. Look, you know very well you don't want to talk about it, right? So she does not want to discuss, right? Now there's a couple of reasons for this. Number one is that the topic of the discussion is unsuitable in her view. So either option one is that it is a unsuitable topic, or she feels guilty. She doesn't want to talk about it. We don't think we need to discuss it.
you have no hope of discussing it.
I say you have no hope of not discussing it, right? You are not going to get away with not talking about it, right? So there's a sense here about a power shift, right? You have to talk about it, right? I'm going to make you talk about it. If you think you can bring any pressure to bear on me, Inspector, you're quite mistaken. Unlike the other three, I did nothing I'm ashamed of, or that won't bear investigation. Okay? The girl asked for assistance. We are asked to look carefully into the claims made upon us. I wasn't satisfied with the girl's claim. She seemed to me to be not a good case. So she is undeserving. Right? She's undeserving of help. And so I use my influence to have it refused. Okay? In spite of what's happened to the girl since, I consider it my duty. This word pops up a few times, right? The inspector's duty is to ask questions. Mr. Burling's duty is to make profit. Mrs. Burling's duty is to choose who gets help. And therefore she becomes a symbol of class, right? / power. It's my duty to determine what the poor get. Like, literally like an old feudal system of lords and peasants that she comes from. If I prefer not to discuss it further, you have no power to make me change my mind. I've done nothing wrong, and you know it. Right? She's kind of the queen of good quotes, Mrs. Burling. I've done nothing wrong, and you know it. Inspector.
I think you did something terribly wrong, and you're going to spend the rest of your life regretting it. I wish you'd been with me at the inquiry tonight, you'd have seen.
Bursting in, Sheila.
No, please, not that again. I've imagined it enough already.
Right, so we've got a difference here in their views, right? So she's talking about the law of the land versus what we call morality. Yes, okay, fine, you didn't break the law, but you're going to feel that sense of like innate goodness that you've done a bad thing. It's better.
Then the next time you imagine it, just remember that this girl is going to have a child.
No, oh, horrible. How could she have wanted to kill herself?
She was pregnant. Dum bum ba. You're just like, yeah, okay. This is a big moment, right? She was pregnant, which means that when she killed herself, she not only killed herself, but she killed the baby that she was carrying. So now we've got 2 victims, right? 2 victims. It changes things.
Does that mean that Gerald had a child?
I'm not telling you anything. We'll see what happens. But you're right, the question, of course, is who is the father of the child? Who is the father of the child? No. We're not doing guesses or spoilers. We're gonna let the play unfold, right? She was going to have a child. Now this is supposed to be a revelation. Notice also the phrasing, because we like analysis, right? This girl was going to have a child, so in a sense that she is also a child herself, right? This girl's going to have a child. We have 2 victims. Sheila, oh no, horrible. Why? How could she want to kill herself? Spencer.
Because she'd been turned out and turned down too many times.
Turned out and turned down too many times. Go on.
This is the end.
Yeah.
Mother, you must have known.
Spectre.
It was because she was going to have a child that she went for assistance to your mother's committee.
Yeah. So she's pregnant with a child. The dad's not on the scene. She needed help. So it was because she was going to have a child that she went for assistance to your mother's committee.
Look here, this wasn't Gerald's fault.
No, nothing to do with him.
Right, okay. So it is not Gerald's. It's not Gerald's baby. I wonder whose baby it could be. I don't know. Let's see. We find out. Sheila.
Thank goodness for that. Anyhow,
Yeah, it would be very complicated if Gerald had fathered a child of a woman in an affair who then killed herself and the child. That would be very difficult for them to come back from. Inspector.
And you've nothing further to tell me, eh?
Eh? I'll tell you what I told her. Go and look for the father of the child. It's his responsibility. I will let that sit for a second. Go and look for the father of the child. It is his responsibility. Inspector.
That doesn't make it any less yours. She came to you for help at the time when a woman could have needed it more. And she not only refused it to yourself, and you not only refused it to yourself, but saw it that others saw it that the other refused it too.
Yeah.
She was her alone, friendless, almost penniless, desperate. She needed not only you,
Come on, Manny, do this.
She needed not only money, but advice, sympathy, friendliness. You've had children. You must have known what she was feeling, and you slammed the door in her face.
Yeah, no, this is a very nice little summary he gives us of her involvement, right? And we get some really good quotes here. So her situation, alone, friendless, penniless, desperate. She was after money, but also just advice, sympathy and friendliness, right? So all of these things here are just sort of humanity, right? That you help people, right? You're a mother, you've had children, you know what it was like, and you slam the door in her face, right? So there's a sense here, slamming the door is a metaphor. We don't have many in this place, let's find them where they appear. Of a sort of just a hatred, right? Of spite. That you made other people refuse her because you did not like her personally, right? You have not done your duty to help out people. Sheila.
mother, I think it was cruel and vile.
Yeah. Bernie.
I must say, Sybil, that when this comes out at the inquest, it isn't going to do us much good. The press might easily take it up.
Yeah, so we've got the newspapers. So what Burling worries about is he worries about his reputation. He doesn't give a damn about her, about Eva Smith. He's like, oh, Sybil, when this comes out, it won't look good. It might affect my knighthood. It might affect the family situation. Oh, stop it, both of you. And please remember, before you start accusing me of anything again, that it wasn't I who had her turned out of her employment, which probably began it all. In the circumstances, I think I was justified. So she still won't accept it. But notice how they begin to turn on each other, right? He's broken up this nice little unit, this family unit. The girl had begun by telling us a pack of lies. Afterwards, when I got the truth, I discovered that she knew who the father was. She was quite certain about that, and I told her it was her business to make him responsible. If he refused to marry her, and in my opinion, he ought to be compelled to, so forced to, then he must at least support her. Inspector?
And what did she reply to that?
Oh, a lot of silly nonsense.
What was it?
Yeah, so hold on a sec. So she just dismisses her views, right? What was it? I better hurry up. Whatever it was, I know it finally made me lose all patience with her. She was giving herself ridiculous airs. She was claiming elaborate fine feelings and scruples that were simply absurd to a girl in her position. So she says working class people can't have morals, right? Scruples is morals. She goes, a girl in her position, so again we have more of her prejudice here, could never possibly think or feel as she does. Spectre.
Her position now is actually lies with a burnt out inside in the slab.
Yeah, so it's pretty brutal there. Burley.
Now look here.
The inspector turns on him. You're shouting at him.
Don't stammer and yammer at me again, man. I'm sorry, sir.
What did she say? She said that the father was only a youngster. Silly, wild, drinking too much. Sound like anybody we know? There couldn't be any question of marrying him. It would be wrong. It'd be wrong for them both. He had given her money, but she didn't want to take any money from him.
Why didn't she want to take any money from him?
Oh, lots of silly nonsense. I didn't believe a word of it.
I'm not asking you if you believed it. I want to know what she said. Why didn't she want to take any more money from this boy?
Oh, she had some fancy reason, as if a girl of that sort would ever refuse money. It's amazing, look, it's amazing just how bad this is, right? A girl of that sort. So she has this terrible view of the working class. They can't be good, they can't be decent because of their class. Spencer.
I warn you, you're making it worse for yourself. What reason did she give for not taking any more money?
Her story was that he said something one night when he was drunk that gave her the idea that it wasn't his money. Spencer?
Where had he gotten it from then?
He'd stolen it.
So she come to you for assistance because she didn't want to take stolen money.
That's the story she finally told, after I'd refused to believe her original story, that she was a married woman who'd been deserted by her husband. I didn't see any reason to believe that one story should have any truer than the other. Therefore, you're quite wrong to suppose I shall regret what I did.
But if her story was true, and if this boy had been giving her stolen money, and she came to you to help because she wanted to keep this youngster out of any more trouble, isn't that so?
Possibly, but it sounded ridiculous to me, so I was perfectly justified in advising my committee to not allow her claim for assistance.
You're not even sorry now. Then he knows what happened to this girl.
I'm sorry she should have come to such a horrible end, but I accept no blame for it at all.
Who is to blame then?
First, the girl herself. Secondly, I blame the young man who was father of the child she was going to have. If, as she said, he didn't belong to her class and was some drunken idler, then that's all the more reason why he shouldn't escape.
And if her story is true, that he was stealing money,
There's no point in assuming that.
but suppose we do, what then?
Then he'd be entirely responsible.
So, he's the chief culprit anyhow.
Certainly, and he ought to be dealt with very severely.
Mother, stop, stop.
She's worked it out, right? She's realised what's going on. Be quiet, Sheila. Sorry, that was you, Berling. Go on, do it.
Be quiet, Sheila.
But don't you see?
You're behaving like a hysterical child tonight. I just underlined that. Sorry, right, last bit. So running out of time slightly. Sheila begins to cry quietly. Mrs. Berling turns to the inspector. And if you take some steps to find this young man and to make sure he is compelled to confess in public, his responsibility, instead of staying here quite unnecessary questions, then you really would be doing your duty.
Don't worry, Mr. Berling. I shall do my duty.
The inspector looks at his watch. I'm glad to hear it, and now no doubt you'd like to say good night.
Not yet. I'm waiting
Waiting for what?
to do my duty.
Huh? Sheila?
Now, Mother, don't you see?
Mrs. Berling takes 2 steps towards Sheila and then to Inspector. Then the door slams. But surely, it's ridiculous! She stops and exchanges frightened glances with Mr. Berling.
Look, Inspector, you're not trying to tell us that my boy is mixed up in this.
If he is, then we know what to do, don't we? Miss Berling has just told us.
My goodness, but look here.
I don't believe it! I don't believe it!
Mother, I beg you to stop.
The inspector holds up a hand. We hear the front door. They wait, looking towards the door. Eric enters, looking extremely pale and distressed. He meets their inquiring stares. So Eric is the father of the child. That's what will be revealed to us, or has been revealed. And of course, Mrs. Berling says it's the father's responsibility. Go and find him, punish him in public, for what he has done. Drama.